Hey guys, it's Will with Vinyl Appreciation Society. I went to Amoeba Hollywood recently, and I picked up some records. I had a $100 gift certificate from my in-laws, so thank you so much for that. If you're watching, they gave it to me for Christmas, so I had that to spend, and then I had, my wife basically told me I had too many DVDs and Blu-rays, and she's like, you gotta get rid of the ones that you will never ever watch again, or that you never watch in the first place. So I was able to put together a whole bag of DVDs and Blu-rays, and I sold those in too. So I ended up with like 130 or so bucks to spend at Amoeba, and guess what? I was able to spend it very, very quickly. So I'm just going to show you what I picked up here. There's 5 records. Hopefully it won't take too long. First we have Bob Dylan, the Royal Albert Hall concert, excuse me. So I actually came really close to buying, if you're a big Bob Dylan fan, you probably already know about this. If you're not much of a Bob Dylan fan, you probably don't. But every single set of Bob Dylan's 1966 World Tour was professionally recorded. There were 2 sets every night, acoustic and electric. And there's a box set that is 36 CDs that has every single one of those sets on it. And it's $108. And I came really close to just getting that and like one other thing, but I was like, I don't know. I want to get like a little bit more of a diverse slate of stuff. And it's a CD box set, and I wanted to pick up some vinyl. So I decided against it. But so instead, I got one of the shows that is in that set. So there's a Dylan official bootleg that's the Royal Albert Hall show, and that show had circulated, I think, for years as a bootleg labeled Bob Dylan Live at Royal Albert Hall, but it was actually recorded in Manchester, England. So this is the actual Royal Albert Hall show. And because it's such like a famous show because of that bootleg having circulated, they pulled this out of the box set and released it as its own thing. So you have all these, so the D.A. Pennebaker film, Don't Look Back, I think was recorded on the 65 tour. And then Pennebaker also recorded Dylan's 66 tour, but Bob Dylan decided to direct and edit that. And what he came up with was, it was kind of like a hot mess and it was never finished. And there was like a bootleg version that came out that you can get on whatever, like eBay and stuff. But that footage was never officially released. Some of it is in the Scorsese documentary about Dylan. But a lot of it you can only see if you watch bootlegs. And so the stills here are taken from that footage, because the Pennebaker footage from Don't Look Back obviously is in black and white. But this is on color, right? This is the exact same set list as the Royal Albert Hall show, or excuse me, the Manchester show that was labeled as Royal Albert Hall show. But it's got a very different vibe. It's much more, I don't know if I want to say spaced out, or I want to say drugged out, or laid back, but like, it's a little bit less, not aggressive is the way, it just sounds sleepier. I don't know if it took place like later on the tour, or because he was in London, he was doing like crazy partying or stuff like that, but like, so he was up late the night before, but it definitely feels like it's just a little bit more of like a slow, deliberate pace than the other show. So it's the same set list, but you get something a little bit different from it. And it's just standard black vinyl load. It's kind of cool. The labels and the sleeve here. And on the back, it has the information about... The front cover, if you can't see, is just like headlines from Dylan's tour. And then there's like the information about like the recording, like, oh, it's 7.5-inch tape and it's stereophonic and 3 tracks and all that stuff. So that's pretty cool. So then I picked up Cotillions, William Patrick Corgan. If you know, Smashing Pumpkins are my favorite band. This is Billy Corgan / William Patrick Corgan's most recent solo record. This is almost like an Americana folk album. It's very, very different from what you would expect to hear from him, unless you are a huge Pumpkins fan, I think, and you're familiar with a lot of the kind of... There are like B-sides from the kind of like the Melancholy era and the Adore era, and obviously the stuff on Adore as well. It's very heavily influenced by folk and country, and this is him like delving full on into that. He went down to Nashville to record this. The songs were written on a trip that he took kind of all around America over the course of 30 days, I think, and he wrote these songs. And there's like fiddle on it and like steel pedal guitar and like lots of kind of like country, Americana, and folk instrumentation. But this is my favorite like front to back collection of Billy Corgan songs since Zwan. I absolutely love this. It's got such like a haunting, kind of beautiful, evocative, esoteric, gothic kind of feel that really reminds me of like the later Pumpkin stuff. And actually, as a fun little bonus, which I didn't know when I picked this up, it's cool, like printed sleeves and stuff. This is I think like gray with black smoke vinyl, or maybe just like clear with black smoke. I don't really know what the official designation of that color is. But there you have that. I'm really loving this record. Next, what do I have here? Power Slave! Hell yeah, Iron Maiden, Ace is High, 2 Minutes to Midnight, They're Home of the Ancient Mariner. I mean, come on. This record is freaking incredible. This is my first ever Iron Maiden record on any format, and I'm actually going to do a separate video where I talk a little bit about Iron Maiden and kind of my relationship with them, but not personal relationship, obviously. It's just black vinyl. But I don't know if this is... I think these were remastered at some point within the past 10 years. I don't know if this is the remaster or not. It sounds totally awesome, and it's been really, really fun to listen to. Classic metal record, new ever British heavy metal. So then I was kind of like walking around Amoeba, taking stuff out of my cart, putting stuff into my cart. They had a vinyl Sonic Youth bootleg that I came really close to buying. It was a little bit expensive. And I was like, I really want something that's like psychedelic, largely instrumental, lots of guitar shredding, maybe some spaced out keyboards. So I was kind of I was looking at like King Crimson, and I always go to Hendrix when I'm looking for like psychedelic shredding, instrumental type stuff. But I have a lot of Hendrix records on vinyl already. And so I kind of wanted something new. And what did I end up with? The Mahavishnu Orchestra with John McLaughlin. I just totally butchered that. John McLaughlin. The Inner Mounting Flame. So, and what's weird about this is the Friday Music reissue of this album, which I didn't realize actually is on clear vinyl. It's pretty heavy. I think it's like 180 grams. Like, this is a heavy piece of wax. But there you go. This has, I think Friday Music has a lot of mixed reviews, and from what I've read online, a lot of that comes down to who they have hired to do the remixing, remastering of whichever album is in question. And this release is very highly regarded because they hired someone who is very highly regarded to do it. And the thing that's interesting and weird about it is that this picture of John McLaughlin is very obviously not from this period in his life and career. So it's like, I wonder who made the decision to slap that on there. But and this album is just incredible. Like, one of the guys who was working at Amoeba when I was buying these records, I don't know if he was like a supervisor or something, but he was kind of like drifting behind the cashiers, and he saw this, and he's like, he came over and he's like, yes, man, that's so epic, so much shredding. And he like picked the record up and was doing like this kind of thing with it, and then was doing like this kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, this is just an incredible album. If you're unfamiliar, John McLaughlin was on Bitches Brew the Miles Davis record, and he's just like an epic shredder who bridges jazz and rock, and there's funk influence on there too. Billy Cobham plays the drums, it was incredible. There's a violin player on that record. It's very like kind of like jazz fusion, psychedelic. It's just an awesome, awesome record. And I was texting my dad after I got that record, like, hey, check out what I'm listening to this morning. And he told me that he saw the Mahavishnu Orchestra open for Jerry Garcia, and I think Villanova in like 70 or 71, around when this record came out. And I was like, A, was there a lot of weed smoke in the air? And B, was there a lot of shredding that night? And he's like, yes, both of those things are true. So finally, the last thing I have here is actually, and I was going to mention this at the top of the episode, I totally forgot, I found a holy grail, or a white whale, or whatever people call them in the vinyl community. And I have never actually, other than like maybe a Smashing Pumpkins live bootleg that I have, since we started doing this channel, I've never actually found one of these records that I've always been looking for and have never seen. Now, obviously, you can go online and just buy these records, but I more or less stopped buying records online completely, like at some point last year, maybe like last summer. I don't think I bought a record online since like last July or June. And I just stopped, and there's a lot of reasons for that. I'm not going to go into that in this video. And so this is a record that I have seen on Discogs from time to time. I don't think it's super, super hard to find online, but I never in a million years did I think I would see it in a store, in part because I think it was pressed in the UK. I don't think it's a US release. But anyway, what do I have? I have Masaru Sato's score for Throne of Blood, the Kurosawa film. And this is limited to 500 copies worldwide. It is on white vinyl, and it's like blank labels. There's just like a red label on one side, and then like a no mask label on the other side. And and this is very stark, harsh, like traditional Japanese no music that fits the very stark, harsh vibe of Throne of Blood, which, if you don't know, is an adaptation of Macbeth. So I'm going to do a video on this. It'll be a little bit longer where I talk more about the music, but this was the last record I found. I was like, okay, I'm going to go. I have my stack. I'm spending a little bit under what I have, but I'll have some store credit or something. I can come back. And I went over to the New Arrivals soundtracks, which I never really looked through, honestly, and I was just kind of digging my fingers through, and I saw some Japanese writing, and, well, these are Chinese characters, but they used them in Japan, too. I saw that, and then I saw the red, and then I pulled back, and I was like, oh my god, yes it is, and as you can see, it says white vinyl on the sleeve there. I was so excited to find this, and my wife absolutely hates she can't watch this movie because she hates the music so much. So I've been trying to find time when she's not in the house to listen to that record, but that's Masaru Sato's score for Throne of Blood. Those are my Amoeba Hollywood pickups. My name is Will. This is Vinyl Appreciation Society. Thank you so much for watching. We are now on the Terrible Infant Patreon. If you have made it this far into the video, you should subscribe. Awesome. Thank you. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a comment. But Patreon.com/terribleinfant. It's Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society. It's 80s Nerdgasm. It's Vinyl Appreciation Society. It's a few other accounts. It's people that we all collaborate with. And we have one Patreon. We have early release videos. We have exclusive content. We have discussions going on there. We're doing giveaways. Some of those giveaways are vinyl, so you should definitely get on that. Check it out. We have a sealed first press Jane Doe Live Converge record that we're giving away. We have a sealed, as far as I know, only pressing of Memory Loss by Crowhurst, like a couple other vinyl giveaways there. So get on that. Check that out. You can give $2 a month, $3 a month, whatever you can part with. It really, 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 truly helps us. Like I said, my name is Will. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.